Welcome to a deeper conversation. In the regular episodes of Clips and Conversation, I explore a word through many different voices and perspectives. But every once in a while, the definition isn't the answer. It's the story behind the answer. This conversation grew out of the word trust. You heard a small piece of it in the main episode, but there was a lot more beneath the surface. Because sometimes our definitions come from the experiences that shaped us.
I think trust started very young when the people that I was supposed to trust the most almost betrayed me. They were the ones that were abusing me. They were the ones that were, undermining my growth and making me feel like I was a subhuman because I wasn't what they pictured I was supposed to be. I wasn't. We weren't allowed to have fun. We weren't allowed to have feelings. We weren't allowed to even be.
Oh, you're so sarcastic.
Seriously, I'm sure it is. It's the trauma. It was funny because if we were making too much noise, my dad would make us go outside. Like we couldn't have fun. We really didn't go and do things. And that's what is, yeah.
Did you know that then? Or
Not then. No, this started in therapy. I mean, it started realizing when I was reading self-help books and stuff after my divorce. I started to recognize that the trust issues came from not being protected, not being allowed to be whoever I wanted, and not trusting that my actions would make my parents no longer love me because we had to perform for love. We had to be what they wanted. We had to do, okay, he likes sports. If I do sports, maybe my dad will love me. That type of thing. So I think just not being able to ever trust an adult. And I mean, if we want to play into the sexual abuse, I couldn't trust adults. I was sexually abused. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was our babysitter. And previous to that happening, we had a babysitter who just smacked us around, like didn't sexually abuse, but was physically hitting us. Mm-hmm. And when we finally told that to my dad, he was angry at us for not telling him. So at that moment, I learned I couldn't trust to tell him anything because he would be mad. His reaction was always anger. Well, now I know that anger it's fear. Like that's where anger comes from, is fear. So now I recognize that he was afraid, but took it out on us. So we thought we were in trouble for stating what had happened. So then I shut down. I mean, I was maybe 6 years old and realizing I couldn't go to my dad for anything. I couldn't tell him anything. Mom would just agree with dad. So I could never even trust my parents with secrets, with, hey, I'm going through this. I was battling severe depression in high school, severe. And they basically just told me I wasn't going to amount to anything rather than, hey, let's see what's wrong. I noticed your grades have all dropped this year in classes that you love. Like, instead of looking at that, like, hey, something's not okay. It was, you're a piece of garbage and you're not going to amount to anything.
That was your.
That's what they told me. They sat me down in the living room and told me that I was 16 years old, battling depression like a motherfucker, and not knowing at the time. Because, my God, you swept that under the rug.
Well, no one talks about it. You were here. You had depression.
And so hearing that at that age, like, I just knew I could never trust them. And it was a repeated pattern. And a lot of it, like my self-esteem, all of it. I remember I was so excited. I was a very good softball player. I had hit my first grand slam. So bases were loaded. I nailed it. It went over the fence. I was so excited. My dad was there and he took a picture of me crossing home plate, right? And so this was back when you had to send your film out to get developed and get them back. So he comes home with the package and he's flipping through them and there's a picture of me crossing home plate. And instead of saying like, wow, what a great moment for you, he goes, hey, do you think home base was like, get off me, fatty? My father said that to me and I might have been 12 years old, maybe 13. So here I was so proud of myself.
Did you cry? Like, did you learn to not cry?
Oh, even, I will tell you now. No, we could not cry back then. We still can't cry now. I haven't spoken to my father.
How old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay.
50 years old. I haven't spoken to my father this is the second time. I went a couple years no contact after the divorce. And then I haven't spoken to him in 2.5 years. I mean, it was 2.5 years ago. I was at my lowest. Like, I wasn't making any money in real estate. Like, I didn't have a job. I was getting pretty desperate. And he was listing his home, and he didn't ask me to do it. And so instead, I was qualified to come clean it and stage it for him, but not sell it. And I was having a very hard time with it. And I just said, you know what? I can't do this. Like, it is so hurtful to me that you can't trust me to do this. And I don't know why. And I was crying when I told him, because I had some pretty traumatic items going on. I was cleaning houses at the time. I had a man try
You were surviving.
I was surviving, a basic survival.
Yes.
Like, I was basically surviving off of like coffee and protein powder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, my boyfriend would feed me when I was over there and stuff, but I didn't want to tell him either that I was struggling. And I remember telling that to my dad, and he just said, "Oh, you're all upset with me." And I'm like, I am, because it wouldn't have come out of your pocket. The money would have been life-changing to list your home for you. And I think you lied to me about it and kept me from it because you knew it would hurt me. And I can't cry in front of him. I told him about an experience. I had a man try to lure me to a vacant home. Thank goodness
When you were a realtor.
when I was a realtor, I was cleaning houses too for extra money. And he said, "Hey, I need to move out clean." And I'm like, "Great." Well, thankfully, because I'm a realtor, I can look up the address, and I look it up. The owner names don't match, and that house is vacant. And so I'm like, this is fishy. And I said, "Can you tell me, are you the owner?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And I'm like, "You're trying to lure me to a vacant house." So, and then this is so wild. A man asked.
And you told your dad this?
I was telling my dad, like, I'm looking for work. I am very vulnerable right now. I'm trying to do everything I can.
Yeah.
I was, tried to lure me to a vacant house. And then I had a gentleman ask me, instead of cleaning his house, would I come wear high heels and step on hamsters? Because he liked to watch that. So I'm sitting there, like, the most vulnerable time in my life, terrified of what is out in the world, okay? Because that alone, like, I sat there in the dark for 10 minutes after that guy asked me that. And I'm like, block. So yes, I'm explaining this to my dad, and I'm crying because I'm upset, I'm hurt, all of the things. And my father says to me, "Can you stop crying, because I can't compete with you when you're like this." This was 2.5 years ago.
Haven't talked to him.
Haven't talked to him since. That man cannot take emotion. If you were crying outside, if you were too happy, you were sent outside. Emotion to him, I think, is unfathomable. He cannot comprehend it.
I mean, is that because he's not emotional?
He gets angry. Fear. I think fear and anger are the only things that he can really process. I mean, he's really emotional about losing my brother, but I think that might be more than guilt and like performative. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can't, every interaction with him is like a humiliation ritual. So no, I can't trust the two people that were supposed to help me.
And that was your foundation.
That was my foundation, because if you think about it, the two people that were supposed to care and love you the very most, you end up hating yourself. You don't hate your parents because, you're supposed to, like, with nature, love them, because they're supposed to support you and raise you and care for you. And so you end up hating yourself. And I did for a very long time. I still struggle with it.
Why did you have therapy?
Oh yeah, therapy has been amazing, but I still have flashbacks to it, and times that I'm like, the triggers that happen. Eric would tell me I'm beautiful, and I'm like, and he thinks it's so strange that I don't believe him. I said, because I grew up with my dad saying, "Fatty," calling me a cow. I don't think he didn't ever tell us we were beautiful until we were like 16, 17 years old. And he used to try, but I'm like, I'm 40 now, Dad. I don't need that. My 6-year-old self needed that. So yes, zero trust, no foundation.
So you had to trust yourself.
And it's still hard to trust myself, because I look at every interaction and like, should I have done this differently? I trust people. They hurt me, and I realize, should I trust someone else? Should I trust myself to trust other people? It's almost terrifying. At 50 years old, it is still a learning game. Yep. Yeah. And it means so much to everyone, to other people. So different from my experience.
How would you like to define it?
How would I like to define trust? Being able to sit back and not worry about what's next. I will trust what's happening. I will trust this person. I will trust the process, the system, what have you, until I have a reason not to, instead of having that hesitation right up front.
Like, so what do you do for a tool when that does come up? I love what you did in the car.
Yes, I have to sit back and go, talking about this will not change a thing. Am I trying to force an outcome? Am I trying to force him to be like, yeah, I'll probably break up with you in 6 months, so let's do it now?
Or have him make you feel better and say, oh,
Yes.
honey, no.
Right. Like,
but that's fake too.
It is fake too.
Because it's not coming up authentic.
Nope. I don't need him to soothe me any longer. It is sitting back with my thought for a moment going, where is this coming from? Am I feeling this in my chest? Am I feeling this in my gut? Is it,
Is it real?
Is it real? Is it fear?
Is it the past?
It is the past. 1,000 times, it's always that baggage from the past. I'm like, I can drop this. So the goal is to try to drop it and just continue. And I feel like there are things that need to be talked about. And at that very moment, I felt like it was important because I was so scared that I'm like, he's done nothing to make me not trust him.
I'm glad you found somebody.
And it isn't even that I found somebody, because learning to be whole on my own has been fantastic.
Then you just get to dance with them.
Exactly.
If both people can come to the relationship whole, you just can dance and enjoy. You're filling each other's holes up.
Well, building my life too, and the fact that he's a truck driver, he's gone a lot, and so
there's a lot of trust.
Yeah, trust, and I also have that time to do what I want to, and grow with what I need, and process what I need, and have the nights I sit in my bed and eat chips and be ugly, and then the nights I get ready when he's coming over. Like, just that trust whatever's happening for the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to the past and not with the future. Like, present, stay present.
It's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's good because there's really nothing going on. You're in the moment.
And you have to hold it.
Yeah. What I appreciated most about this conversation wasn't the stories themselves. It was listening to someone connect the dots. To hear how experiences from childhood can shape the way we see ourselves, the way we see others, and even the meaning we give to a word. Trust was the word that started this conversation. But what stayed with me was the awareness, the willingness to look back, make connections, and notice how the past can still influence the present. Maybe that's where understanding begins. Not when we change our story, but when we start to see it clearly. Thank you for your story, and thank you for listening. Until next time, keep listening, keep wondering, and keep exploring the words that shape your world and why.